we have had seen the 3 islands that actually hosted our HFNA programs, but one wasn't able to host their in-person, on-location program because it just was scheduled just directly after the Maui fire, and there was a lot of just adjustment to the disaster and all of that was going on. So there was a proposal to create a separate video instead of the in-person to highlight the growing scene, the designing scene, the flower scene on Maui. And so it's the final island that we're sharing with everyone is a video tape program that was specifically designed to help everyone understand what kind of is happening with floriculture on Maui. So it's very, very exciting to be able to see this one. It's a different program, a different way of delivering the program, but I think you'll enjoy it. And let's just introduce our Lois Hiranaga. Can we do that?
And this is Miss Lois Hiranaga, and she is our Maui designer. And her and he told me are like this. They're like best friends.
We kind of are. But we also want to bring in Hannah Lutgen and Matt Keiley, because they're the people that actually put this program together. We thought and decided that this is a great way to put the Maui program together. And so they brainstormed and came up with this idea.
Okay, at this time, we would love for you all to enjoy the Maui Now video.
Aloha. Thank you for joining us on the Hawaii Floriculture and Nursery Association's 2023 webinar, A Spirit of Hawaii Neotropica. My name is Lois Hiranaga, and I will be your host on Maui Island. We have a very special program planned for you, and we will be visiting 11 farms and telling the story of these 11 farms across the island. I would also at this time like to thank the many people around the world who have supported us during this difficult time because of the devastating wildfires that have affected the areas of Kula all the way down to Lahaina, where many of these people have actually come and played on this island. So here in this piece, we started with a wreath form and first inserted and dispersed the king protea and attached it with zip ties. The next step was to then come in with the jungle king ginger, which is this darker one here, and again disperse that throughout the wreath. So basically I'm starting with one product at a time and inserting it so that I get a nice balance of color, and we got a good balance of weight as well. These beautiful gingers came from Maui Tropicals and Foliage, and we visited Dave Brown, who has a wealth of knowledge and is full of information on tropical, different tropical flowers and foliages.
I'm David Brown Jr., right-hand man for Maui Tropicals and Foliage. My father and I started this back in 1979. Our original farm was about 15 miles in towards Hana from the Haiku farm we have now. And we've been acquiring all different types of heliconias and gingers and foliage for the past 35, 40 years. And we're still collecting. Love what we do. We tried to be as diverse as possible and all aspects of the industry, the different commodities, bee-high, heliconia, strictas, carabeas, all the new hybrid gingers, the Darwin from Australia, the Darwin series, as well as exotics, Costas, Zingiber. We tried to be the one-stop shop. Over the years, one of the main holdups for people ordering flowers was the lack of nomenclature. Nobody knew what to call certain products. So Hitomi, Gilliam, and Lois Hiranaga came up with a Neotropica guidebook and helped the industry by having available the name for each heliconia cataloged by name and color, time of year blooming, to give the person buying on the other end of the grower an exact name to be able to call a heliconia when they're ordering it. To not have that unclear ordering aspect of, oh, can I have a yellow and red heliconia? So because a lot of designers like specific colors in their design work, so it makes it a lot easier for them to order. Plus it shows what time of year, the blooming period. So it makes it really knowledgeable to be more precise in your ordering. The one thing that I think would spur some growth and interest in our industry is to develop a cross-breeding program, because pretty much everything that's out in the wild has been discovered and is already in the industry. So in order to spur interest from the designer, they would like to have new product as well. So that would be I think the next line of evolution in our industry is a crossbreeding program. They have it in anthuriums, orchids do it all the time. So we should follow suit, I believe.
Next, what I'd like to talk about is the various proteas that were then inserted. And we have here the king protea. Then we have here the raspberry frost, the minx, pink ice. Here's some hybrids here. And again, it's a matter of distributing the colors and the varieties evenly. And again, as I mentioned, how we inserted the kings that we started with, we use zip ties. So to add drama to a very typical wreath shape, we've added these beautiful, perfect darling heliconias, which came from Helani Farms.
I'm at Keiley, I farm here with my wife, Barbara, and this is Helani Farm. We took over from a guy named Howard Cooper, who was instrumental in my future. I didn't want to work, a 9 to 5. I'd rather be self-employed type of thing. And my mother had always been gardening. We always did the work around the house, our homes, and it just came natural to me, And you're basically putting something in the ground and taking care of it. It's kind of like your children. But the only problem is, children cost you money, but the plants, they give you money. So it was kind of a no-brainer. We do tropicals, foliage and flowers, gingers, heliconia, all kinds of palms, tea leaf, whatever they want, we'll try and find it for them. The fires affected us in the beginning more so than now. 2 months later, it's come back, but not as much as it was previously. But we're doing okay. I really feel for the people of Lahaina. My brother lost his job. My nephew lost his business in the harbor. So, but there's a lot of people that are really hurting financially because of the fires. One of my customers, she barely got out of her home, and she lost everything. But I just talked to her the other day, and she's, thankful she's alive, and she's relocated to Kihei, and she's going to make it, with the help. And she said the first 3 or 4 days, it wasn't the government or FEMA, it was the people of Maui that sustained the Lahaina population during that time. So I believe in the people. I'm not too sure about the government. You know, the hardest thing right now is there aren't enough young farmers, it seems. You know, most of the farmers are, you know, in their 60s. So we need more farmers. Because as far as from, you know, the tourist thing, flowers is a commodity they want to see, and one of the commodities they don't see enough of. And we can grow flowers here, and it's a good living. You know, you just, like I said previously, you just putting something in the ground, you're taking care of it, you're nurturing it, and then it gives you a return. So it's a good life.
To actually finish this off, I felt we needed that pop of color. So the bougainvilleas were just spattered out throughout the design to just give that extra pop. Wouldn't this be stunning as a piece in front of a hotel entry? And now we have some very special guests that are here with me for this demo of lei making. I'd like to introduce to you Emi Fukushima and her mom, Joyce Fukushima. These are the ladies that strung these beautiful leis in so many different styles. I would like the ladies to kind of give me some information or background of your business and how you got started, or anything that, I mean, people that are seeing this would be so amazed to know how you do it and your passion for it. If you could share some of that with us. Maybe Amy, would you like to share that with us?
Yeah, like these are the single strand ilimas mixed with orchid, like these.
Beautiful.
And this one has crown flower in between of the ilima. And then we have it with the outer petals.
And in this case, I see you've used the white crown flower, and it has just the heart of the crown flower.
Yes.
And in this case, you have the purple. And
Purple
it has,
crown flower.
Yeah, purple crown flower, and then it has the whole flower.
Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. And then in this case, you even have different styles of stringing where you would call this your single.
That's a single.
And
then right here we have a double lantern ilima with the orchids.
And then again, a single with the white dendrobium.
White and purple dendrobium.
Is there like one that's more popular that your customers, is there a favorite lei that your customers tend to order more than another, or is it all even the demand? Have you found something that?
The most common ones are probably the single crown flowers and then the single lantern ilima with crown flowers.
Okay. And there is like this one flower, the crown flower, has so many different ways you can string it. And maybe you can explain the different methods and styles, because you're the expert at it and I want to know about the different methods.
And this one right here, this one is 5 strands sewn and then it's twisted together to make one lei. And this one here is the whole flower. and it has 3 strands twisted together. This one has just the outside of the crown flower, just to make a petal lei crown flower.
Emmy,
Yeah.
how many petals would you think is in this lei?
About over 700.
Oh my
I'm not
gosh,
sure.
over 700 flowers. So this is just this portion strung flat, one on top of each other.
One on top of each
And
other.
later, would you show us how to, what you do or the techniques, or at least give us a snippet, because people would just love to see some of that. But let's carry on with, so did you say 700?
Or more.
Or
I'm
more?
Sure it's more.
Oh my
I'm not sure.
gosh. Very, very pretty. And then?
And then this one is a double strand. One strand is with just the center of the crown flower. This is with the hole. And then this one is all with the center, the hearts of the crown flower, sewn on its side. And this one is our deluxe crown flower lei. So this one is sewn into rings. And then there's one more flower inside of here. And then it's sewn all together on top.
So you actually are taking the individual flowers
Yes.
Yes.
and then making individual rings, like little donuts or little bracelets.
Yes.
And then you're having to stack just the sepals, the back of the crown flower.
Yes.
Okay.
And
now,
then there's also another strand inside of it to
to
lock
hold
everything
it
together.
Okay, so nobody would know from seeing this that there is a single crown flower lei in the middle, like as a spacer.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it holds it all together.
Amazing. What's like, how long? I know you guys are professionals and have done this because your mom started this business.
Yes.
How long ago would you say, or how you've been doing this?
Since they were little kids. About
I don't think I
5.
was born yet.
That's a long time.
A long time ago.
So
Yeah.
you're with it, man. You got this down. What would you say, like, to string a lei like this?
This lei takes at least from picking to cleaning and sorting and assembling. It takes over 5 hours.
Nobody would know that. But everybody appreciates the lei, but the thought that it took the love and passion of somebody to take it 5 hours, and that's not even counting the time it took you to grow the flowers, right? So I can tell you have the passion for this, to have been in it for how many years did we say?
About 30,
30 some.
about 35 years.
Okay, and Emmy, your daughter, is now going to carry, you're passing on, and she will become, the lei maker. For me, the crown flower leis are really your specialties. You don't see other businesses doing it, and I can tell because it takes the labor and love that went into producing. I would say this is probably a good portion of time as well. It's probably less than this lei,
Yeah.
less
Yes.
time. But
This one also takes, it's about 3 people working on this lei for that amount of time.
so are you saying that the cumulative time to create this lei is 15 hours?
Could be.
Oh my. Nobody would know that. And I so much appreciate your sharing that information, because then you really appreciate what lei is. And when somebody gives lei, that is a lot, right? Especially when you present somebody with a lei. You've made that commitment to grow these flowers and to string these flowers, and it's just so beautifully done. So Joyce and Emmy, will you tell us some of the techniques you use to string a lei?
So we'll take a lei needle about 8 inches long, and then we'll put the thread. You can use dental floss. You can use just heavier thread, and then you just So one flower at a time, and you put it until you have about 8 flowers on the needle. Then you grab the whole set of flowers and you pull the needle through.
Okay.
And then you repeat until you have it to your desired length.
Is there any, when people buy the leis, can you just give us a quick answer on the best way to keep a lei fresh? Or how long can they expect the lei to look fresh?
They should look fresh about a week. Sometimes longer if it's kept properly.
And keeping properly means in the refrigerator, not too cold, not too hot. What's your ideal? If you can elaborate a little bit on that. So, what do you recommend? Because I know you're stringing fresh and it's going to market. Right. So now, if say I bought the lei and I have an event, I should refrigerate it or keep it out?
We should refrigerate it.
Okay.
We should put it in a plastic bag and close it tightly. You can mist it too with a little bit of water.
Yeah.
If it's the Lanterne Lima or the crown flower with petals, anything like this type, they need to be spritzed down, put in a plastic bag, closed tightly, and try to keep it away from any refrigerator vents, because sometimes the vents will freeze the lei.
Okay, it's the coldest. You don't want it in the coldest part of the refrigerator.
No.
Okay. That's really good news for people that want to buy a lei and keep it, because maybe they're the person they're giving it to will be, you know, a day or two later. Thank you.
Also, like these types of leis without the whole crown flower, just the hearts. We like to keep these ones more on the drier side, so I don't spritz these with water.
Okay, so Lanterne Lima, you spritz. Dendrobium, you spritz. But crown flower, it's better to
more on the dry side. Yeah.
Okay.
That way it won't get rotten in your refrigerator.
Okay. And you can keep it for a week, you said.
Yeah.
You said. Thank you so much for coming. Our audience really will appreciate the knowledge you shared with us. And I know you guys are really busy ladies, so really, really thank you. Our next segment, we're going to take you to a lei farm, a flower farm that actually grows flower for lei making.
My name is Mario Gachero. You guys are in Hawaii Seed Pro Farm. It's a diversified farm where I grow seeds in winter and also flowers. Mainly tuber flowers and a bunch of other lei flowers that I do, like plumeria, crown, lima, and other things like eucalyptus for the local market. So I'm originally from Uruguay, South America, and I came to study in the University of Minnesota to do a plant breeding, master in plant breeding, and I got so bored and sick of the cold that I moved to Hawaii. So I moved to Hawaii in almost 20 years ago. 2018, I started my own company and growing seeds for other small companies and public institutions. And last year, I came across. I had the opportunity to buy a business, a flower business that actually really works really well with what I've been doing. So in Maui, everything is small scale. We don't have a huge market. So every business is kind of small, and that's why the seed, the plumerias, the lei flowers is something that they complement really well, especially for not only the crop but also the labor sharing of all these projects. I really got into the flower business. Actually, I had an early start actually in this field in the pandemic and with tuberose. And it was looking great, but I couldn't sell any single stem. But I started again, and I would like to open more markets. I would like to sell more tuberose here in Maui, but also in other islands. And also I like to find a market for a lot of plumerias. This farm used to provide a lot of heads for lace, for plumerias. Back in the day when there weren't as many Thai lace coming in. And so there are a few acres of different plumerias that I would like to start finding niche markets for them. And farm tours will be another thing that is very interesting. It's a very interesting property with amazing views and not that many flower farms open to the tourism. So that, I think that more or less summarize where I want to go.
So for my next design, I'd like to show you a beautiful arrangement made with these heliconias, rambutan, and orange trumpet. And the design is actually, there's a kenzan in the bottom of the vase, a pin frog, followed by a chicken wire pillow. And then we have this grid, which kind of helps to lift the arrangement up. So it's not going to be you have more depth and interest by doing that. So here we have, it's basically the pseudocorums are just inserted straight into the grid, and it actually will hit the pin frog. And the idea is to ideally get the pseudocorums in a very vertical and parallel as much as possible. The trumpet vine here adds much interest. The leaves were all stripped, so you can actually see movement. Sometimes I find that reducing the amount of foliage really will help with your color story. And so in this case, the leaves of the trumpet vine have been totally removed so that you can see the interesting tendrils of the trumpet vine. And these are the rambutan fruit, which is edible, and they're just used as accent pieces, and it actually picks up on the coloration of the pseudocorums. It's a very easy piece, but it's a piece where it takes an abundance of flowers, and we were very fortunate to have our extension agent, Hannah Lutgen, provide us with all these heliconia pseudocorum andromeda, and she gathered this from her yard.
So my name is Hannah Lutgen, and I am the Landscape and Ornamental Extension Agent Faculty for UH Manoa, University of Hawaii, Manoa. I'm based in Maui County, so I work up here at the Kula Agricultural Research Station. It's also known as the Maui Agricultural Research Center, or MARC for short. And my role as an extension agent is to provide education, science-based education. I also conduct applied research and provide consultations to help commercial cut flower growers and landscape professionals. My role is primarily to help commercial growers, florists, plant nursery growers, and landscapers, including arborists, but I don't have enough time to work with homeowners. We do have an extension agent that works specifically with urban horticulture and homeowners, and the Master Gardener program. I'm still studying pests and diseases of Proteaceae. So Proteaceae is a big plant family that includes Leucospermum, these beautiful pincushions, and also other protea, so king protea, minks. So I am evaluating the different fungal associations on protea and helping to produce best management practices to help growers manage said diseases to really improve their yields, their success, and help improve plant health. We're also working on a eucalyptus foliage trial. So up here, we're also growing Eucalyptus gunnii, Eucalyptus pulverulenta, and Eucalyptus polyanthemos, and growing those out and also developing best management plans for pruning. Like, when is the ideal time to prune? When is it most successful for growers and florists, and to maintain the health of the plant, because eucalyptus do turn into large trees. The eucalyptus trial is part of the import replacement program, which is very important. The goal of that program is to help grow plants that are difficult to import here, whether there are restrictions or whether there's softer flowers like dahlias that don't ship as well. We're trying to help growers by doing trials, conducting trials, collecting research, seeing which specific cultivars may do better in different microclimates statewide. Will help us provide more information and possibly plant material to growers statewide and in Maui County. So in my role as an extension agent, I am essentially a public servant. I am here to help all commercial growers. So with the August 8th fire disasters, I have been working with growers, answering their calls, their emails, going to the field, helping them assess damages, compiling resources that are available for assistance or loans, even access to clean water, mental health resources for all the growers and individuals affected by the fires.
So this is a very simple design, but it makes a very bold statement. I would like to acknowledge Mimi from South Maui Gardens. They hosted us here and it was a beautiful venue. We enjoyed the process of designing on your property.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you here.
It's a spot for all of Maui to come and enjoy,
Yeah,
right?
it's a little community spot. We've been a nursery here, started in the 70s.
Wow.
So it's always been a nursery, and then we have other things. We do our interior plantscaping with the hotels, private residences. We have growing grounds up in Kula. We have over 18 acres and 2 growing grounds in Kula. Of course, our beautiful nursery here, this venue, we have special events, community events. We have our second Saturday coming up where we're having one of the bands that was displaced from Lahaina is coming to play. Wow. The House Shakers, they were the house band with Fleetwoods.
Right.
So we really try to be a place for the community to come and enjoy. We have all the food trucks, over 13 food trucks now. And they're all different and unique, which is awesome.
That's quite special.
Yeah.
Shall we take a walk around before
let's
it would be a shame not to visit the property a little more.
I'm happy to show you all that we have. So here we are. This is the Prince building where you were building your beautiful creation.
Thank you, Mimi.
That was really wonderful
it was nice to
see.
Be here.
We have wedding receptions here. And this is also where we have our concerts for our second Saturday. The guests will bring in their lawn chairs and relax.
And you have movie night?
We have movie night. Tonight's our movie night. We have a hula show. And then right down here is where the food truck Oasis. We have our food truck Oasis. There's 12 food trucks right now.
Wow.
And they're all a little different, so we like that. And then on the left, you'll see some of the plants that we grow. These are typical of what we grow. We also do contract growing. We were contract growing for one of Maui's famous hot sauces. We grew all his peppers one year. For mahi pono, we've grown for them. Landscapers, so homeowners come in and they have quite a bit to choose from.
I see a quite unusual plant there, that hibiscus I've never seen before.
The red hibiscus is actually indigenous to Maui,
is that
to
right?
Hawaii. Yeah, this one is indigenous to Hawaii, and so is
and
this one.
And this one is indigenous to Maui? Hawaii.
Hawaii, not just Maui. But yeah.
First time I've seen that. That's very interesting.
Which is great, they're easy to grow. So here we are at the food trucks. They have lawn yard games for the kids. It's nice seating. On most evenings, we have live music over here, so you can bring your family, enjoy some beautiful music. And
this is a beautiful property that really stretches across a whole block.
This whole area, we have 6 acres.
Yeah, there's 2 entries, right?
There's 2 entries. This is Alahele, so we are just
Alahele.
Correct, Alahele. We're on the south side of the triangle.
Okay.
So some
and the other
on
side?
the other side is Auhana. Auhana.
Auhana. Wow.
And that's close to the cove. So that's an easy way to find us. But yeah, you're welcome to come and get food, relax.
Yeah, we're going to enjoy some food from the food trucks.
Yay, I'm glad. There's so many to choose from. We have Indian, Argentinian, Canadian. The Burger Boys is Wagyu beef. Pretty soon we'll have our pink taco truck.
And you have the vintage cars.
We have the owner loves vintage cars. So yes, we have some interesting cars around. Lots of statues. All of our statues and potteries for sale. We import those.
I noticed there's a lot of people that enjoy that end of the property with the coffee store, the coffee shop,
Green Coffee House,
and pizza and Kikoko's out there.
And the Blue Door Bakery, that has been in business for way before the pandemic. Of course, things closed down during the pandemic, and now it's back open again. So they have sourdough, all different types of bread. It's delicious.
So how did the wildfire, did that affect your business significantly?
Absolutely, yes. Everything was at a standstill.
But you're feeling it, it's coming back now?
It's coming back, which is a blessing. It's coming back. On Thursdays, we have our artisan market. We do some of the artisans come on Wednesdays and Fridays. We have a little pop-up where they're welcome to bring their wares and to sell things. So right after the fire, we invited all the vendors from Lahaina to come.
I see.
And they were,
that was very nice. Yeah.
We do our best to support our community as much as we can. Of course, we were running our trucks back and forth the whole time.
I see.
Our boats, the owners have fishing boats, and they were running water, gasoline. Everybody was doing everything.
Relief effort.
Absolutely, we're doing what we could. And then, it's just all these cool little mixing.
And I know you have like a turtle and a butterfly farm.
Butterfly zone is right up here. Whenever you walk up here, you'll see all the butterflies. Yeah. And we do have George the tortoise. He's about 22 years old, over 100 pounds now.
Wow.
Yeah. We can look and see if he's out. Usually he's in his den around this time of the day. And then we're making our way up towards Kotoko, the Blue Door Bakery, and the Green.
Yeah, this is I've come here and you've had the music.
Yes.
It's very nice. So Mimi, thank you so much for your hospitality and hosting us here.
Thank you for being here.
We'll see you again.
We'll see you soon. Aloha.
We're at our next location now, and what I really wanted to show, near and dear to me, is hand-tied bouquets. And I wanted to do something with tempered flowers. And on our island, Atrium Design Works, owned by Sean and Raven Sykes, they're our main wholesaler and provide a lot of temperates as well as tropicals.
Hi, I'm Raven.
And I'm Sean Sykes.
We own Atrium. We're a wholesale flower importer and farmers of Protea.
Here on Kula, Maui, at the beautiful 4,000-foot elevation, is our farm here.
We have kings, pincushions, 3 or 4 different varieties of banksias, leucadendrons in safari, jesters, and a pretty green, lime green leucadendron. And, kangaroo paws.
Yes.
Can't forget the kangaroos.
Yes.
primary company is Atrium. We import and distribute cut flowers to the event and wedding industry, and that's located down in Wailuku. And we've been doing that for 9 years now. And in that process, we saw a huge need for protea, specifically pincushions. And so when the opportunity arose to buy the farm, we thought it was a great chance to expand our...
Yeah, well, we had been purchasing from the grower here, Jim Hyde, who is one of the original propagators of the protea stock that has become very much commercially viable and popular. And so we had been buying his cut flowers, but he had been doing his main business was propagating and selling to other growers. And so when we knew that this place was for sale and that what typically was happening was these farms were selling and being changed into mansions and, you know, expensive places for rich people to have an enjoyable time, but we knew that we would lose access to these plants eventually if this trend continued. So it just lined up as the perfect opportunity to make sure that we wouldn't lose this genetic stock. We have 9.5 acres here, and probably only less than 2 acres is in production right now. And some of that is just because, you know, we're like a 2-man band here, and she's running the shop
I'm at
too.
the store all day.
It's, you know, it's mostly just whatever I can get done. But we also have a lot of farmers who we have really long-term relationships with. And for them, the income is very important. So we're not expanding beyond what we can still have a need for their product for too. And they're all getting older, and it's not entirely clear that the families will keep that going. So the plan is to kind of expand our farm as their farms do whatever they're going to do with generational change. So we want to keep these folks who have been in this industry for so long, you know, selling their product. And we're happy to do that for them and to be that venue.
Here we have a tropical nouveau bouquet. So it's a mix, a blending of both tropical flowers and temperate flowers. It's really wonderful that on the island now we're seeing a lot more of temperate flowers being grown. And the flowers actually in this bouquet are all Maui grown. So we have these curcumas, which really started my whole inspiration for this program. And it was probably the hardest thing to find, but we did get it. And there's 2 curcumas here, one in a lavender and one in a more sunset color. Then we have pincushions. If you look deep into the bouquet, this is a Leucospermum Louis Miguel and Crimson Comet in here. And it's a really perfect blending of the flowers and introduces many of the colors. It's all done in a spiral hand tie. And this bouquet has mainly dahlias of all different colors. And the palette is just perfect because you can mix, the colors are all bridged by this curcuma. And you have this beautiful dahlia from Kula Dahlia Farm.
So here at Kula Dahlia Farm, I am mainly focused on dahlias. Yeah, dahlias are my passion, and that's what we grow. So I saw a photo of a dahlia in a catalog from the seed company I order, and one season I tried one, and that was it. I was hooked. And you know, a couple dahlias led to 30, led to 400, led to 1,500. So here we are. I always say that if I never sold a single dahlia in my life, that I would still grow them, and I would still grow them at this scale, and that's absolutely true. This is, for me, growing dahlias is, you know, it's my passion. It gives me just such a huge sense of fulfillment, and I really feel like every day I get up and I get to do what I love. I get to do something that spreads joy and happiness into my community, And I also receive that tenfold, you know, just by like the stories I hear from people. And yeah, there's just nothing like it. It's just amazing to be like a steward of the land and leave this, you know, this island and this like beautiful place like better than when I found it, you know, for my kids, their kids, and whoever else happens to be here next. The day of the fires, we were here this morning. In the morning time, I could hear like a roaring like train. It was just this really kind of uneasy, loud train noise. And as the day kind of went on, we just kind of thought, okay, you know, it'll pass. Like it's okay. Like they got it handled. And then later on in the evening, I could see smoke. And then I could hear explosions, and then I could see fire, and I kept thinking, they're gonna get it, they're gonna get it. But as the day went on, I just stood on the corner of my farm and just stood there. All I could do was look and just disbelief and just, you know, horror of hearing people's houses burn down. It was heavy. And then, so yeah, we had to evacuate, but luckily we came back to our house still here. The winds were bad. Our whole farm, most of the dahlias got knocked down flat. It was peak season, so we had significant loss, but thankful that's all that happened. We are going to continue to expand. We're going to continue to grow. I am a new farmer, but so there is endless opportunity for me to learn and improve every season. This coming season, we are going to be offering U-Picks, which was the plan this season before the fires, you know, wiped us out. The fires and the winds wiped us out peak season, but. Next season, I'm really looking forward to hosting people and, you know, really getting to show people, you know, the beauty of dahlias and what it's like to be in the field and, you know, pick them yourselves and just really spread that, you know, sense of just like joy and happiness. You know, it's simple.
And I want to also mention at this point that it's been wonderful to have a relationship with the University of Hawaii and to be part of their giving back information. In here are 2 new cultivars that haven't been introduced, 2 anthurium cultivars. This brown tulip, which has some pink tone in it. And there is also, if I can find it, this raspberry one. It has made a huge difference for us to be able to communicate with the breeding program so that we're more connected in a community setting where we can express what we like and what we don't like and where the future is going to go. So this is a really nice example of blending tropical flowers with temperate flowers, and this is all grown on the island of Maui. So for our next design, here we have a formolinear piece, which has has this Musa velutina. So it's an ornamental banana and the most perfect gingers. So this is Alpinia Purus White. And it's just absolutely perfect. And we got these over in Hana from Olopava Farms. And this property is just so beautiful. It's magical in that the climate is just perfect for gingers. But surprisingly, these ornamentals were also found at that location. As I said, the Musa, and this cost us, which we still need to find out the name, and I'll be testing it for them to see how long it lasts.
My name is Steve Siegfried, and this is Olopava Farms. We're located in the Keiley district of Hana, and we started our farm in 1983, planting heliconias and ginger. And we're growers and exporters. We're not really open to the public. We're just growers and shippers. The crops we specialize mainly is ginger. We're very big growers of ginger. So we have quite a few varieties of ginger that we grow. And then we have heliconias also, and foliage items. But I would say the emphasis is mainly on ginger. Before we did the flowers, we were actually in the pig business. We raised hogs here at the farm, and that was very difficult for us to make a go of it. So we had a chance to transition into tropicals, and we knew Howard Cooper and Ali'i Chang, and they suggested plant tropicals. So we did. We planted as fast as we could, and a little over a year later, we started to harvest our first flowers. This is 1983 going into 84. And we were really lucky because at that time, the Hana Hotel and Ranch were owned by a lady from Texas, Mrs. Hunt, and she had a giant flower business in her hotels, and they asked us to start to supply the flowers to their hotels. So once we had production, we were able to really get into a big time shipping thing with them, which kind of got our thing expanded. So we just built it up from that. I think the reason that we're really lucky that our flowers look so good and are so healthy, we're really blessed with great soil here, deep soil that's got a lot of cinder in it, so we have fantastic drainage. And we also have quite a bit of rainfall, so we don't really experience much of a drought condition here. And we also have a cloud cover almost every day here, because ginger doesn't like a lot of bright sun, especially the lighter colors. They get sunburned really easily. And now that we're growing a white ginger, we're having pretty good luck because of the cloud cover, because that's very difficult to grow. But we're really blessed, I would say, with the soil, and the conditions are really, that's a big aid to what we've been able to do here, because it's made the quality of our ginger just really very good. We're very lucky.
So to create this arrangement, I first inserted the banana and then came in with this beautiful dry koa branch. And then on the base here, it's anchored with the 3 proteas from Kula. We visited Kainoa at Island Protea.
My name is Kainoa Aluli, and my farm is Island Protea. So we mainly focus on kings and pink ice. Currently in bloom now, the pink ice, and then the king protea. We have some younger plants of the pincushions, still waiting for them to come into production, and then also minks. So yeah, I've been farming protea on this property for about 5-6 years. Originally I got into farming by working under Ali'i Chang, who owned the lavender farm upcountry Maui, and purchased this property and just started to harvest and plant. I really like protea flowers and farming them because there's always something to learn. A lot of the crop is actually biannual, so it takes almost 2 years for them to flower. It's a long-term crop, so about 3 to 5 years in the ground before you can start to see flowers. And then probably the seasonal blooming is special for me because you can only get them at certain times of the year.
So what I've been finding that I am personally getting drawn back into formal linear design, where the simplicity of the product really is showcased and selecting the product becomes very important. And in the formal linear design, the line is very important. So selection of product to me is very important, where you can see the beautiful line of the costas and how that has movement, and it's a soft movement. And then you have the tension here of the dry coal branch. And then you come back to the undulation of the calathea leaf. I think that kind of sums up when we're selecting product, we need to select for those properties, but also what I'd like to stress is knowing when to edit. A lot of times there's a lot of branches or a lot of excess leaves that if you edit that out, your arrangements become so much stronger. I could really see this in a Komohana estate. So here we are with our last and final piece. And this piece was inspired by Hawaiian lei making. So the center looks like actually like a garland. And it's actually standing on these fan palms. And it looks quite architectural, designed in this format. Very modern and very clean, and yet mixed with the tradition, the Hawaiian tradition of lei making. So the lei is actually made, or the garland, I would say in this case, is made with wire mesh. And we have then inserted leucodendron galpinii. And then from there, we've then inserted the zinnias. And these pods are actually the pods of the galpinii. So we have here the zinnias and substatus, and the pods of the galpinii. And then this is the vine of the Jamaican lilikoi, which we gathered from Aloha Grown Beauty in Hana.
Hi, I'm Wheela Eliogram, and you're at Aloha Grown Beauty Farm.
I'm Jennifer Eliogram. Welcome to Aloha Grown Beauty. Well, we're a young farm, as you know, under 5 years here. A little bit of everything from the animals to the fruit to distilling to tropical bouquets, you name it, we try and do it. If it's edible, something we can distill, something we can make a bouquet out of, that's really what we do. We're natural farmers. We do everything organic as possible as we can. We let our chickens, ducks, goats, pigs do a lot of the work for us. And we're a team here. It's just the two of us who do the work, and it's a big labor of love. Family farm, traditional roots. Wheela's born and raised Hana boy. I grew up country, and this is kind of just the accumulation of our two worlds together.
I was born and raised here in Hana. I used to do bonsai plants when I was a young kid, and it kind of it grew from doing bonsais to a whole farm. Is basically how that grew, and then we just loved animals, and I met her and she loved animals, so we worked together and got a bunch of animals in a farm and did what we both like doing, which is distilling, growing plants, and taking care of animals, basically.
And then for me, getting into the farming was kind of a different sort of path that really came from healing. I lost my mom, and then a year after that, I broke my neck. And I was completely delved right into herbalism and alternative therapies I really wanted to use plants to heal, and it kind of just went from there and started distilling, and that unlocked a whole other sort of herbal realm for me. And I started healing not just my interior, but my exterior with plants. And then now here we are. Now my mind feels just clear and beautiful. The plants, what they inspire and bring to me every day, that's what I share with our farm store and with our farm. Plants healed me, and I'm hoping to offer that to others as well.
So we have kuni pigs, we've got goats, chickens, and ducks, and we also have a few German shorthair pointers that help around the farm, keeping away pests and helping put our animals back in when we need. And
security.
And so our animals we use for our farm. On all of our hills, we have our goats, and they help keep our hills down, so we're not weed eating extra and more work for ourselves. And also the pigs too are all doing that. And all the animal manure goes back into our farm too in our compost piles, and everything from our farm goes back into our farm to
We're big believers of use what we got, and we use everything we got to the best of our abilities, for sure. We opened up during COVID. We were supposed to open April 2020 and get married the same weekend, and you all know what happened. So fast forward to October 2020, opening during COVID, had no realm what was gonna happen, but people showed up, our community showed up, other siders showed up, and feeding the community with what we have from what we grow has been huge. And so for the future of that, we're looking to just open more and give more to what we can around us, expand that. 2 days open and 2 days being able to share this place with others, a place that is so healing. So our hope is to expand that where we can bring more people in to experience it here too. And what do you think, babe?
Yeah, I mean, the same as that. Yeah. Just keep growing and make it a fun place for people to come and enjoy the animals and the flowers here, and bring their kids and yeah.
And the future, I mean, that's just that's a crazy word. You know, that as we know, being in Maui too, that word is ever changing. We move forward every day. We do something good for the farm every day, and that's, you know, just hopefully get to still be here in the future. You know, we love farming and we love what we do, and any farmer knows how hard it is. So we just hope we get to keep being passionate and be here. So.
So I could just see this in a beautiful hotel setting, and it would really welcome the guests with the tropical feel of the palms, and yet the very playful color of the tropical colors and the flowers selected. So I hope you enjoyed our program from Maui. It's called Maui Now, and it represented a lot of growers and a lot of designs, and I hope it brought you inspiration, and perhaps you may just think about coming to visit us on Maui. Okay, let's go.
So,
You copy that?
Aloha from Maui.
Aloha from Hana Maui.
Aloha from Maui.
aloha from Maui.
Aloha from Maui.
Aloha from Maui. Aloha from Maui.
Aloha from Maui.
Aloha from Hana Maui.
Aloha from Maui.
Aloha from Maui.
'Cause it feels like family. Feels like family. And I know, you know that crazy feeling. Feels like family.
so many tropical flower farmers on Maui from all over the island. It's great, great video. Good job, Colin. Okay, we have a few questions from our listening audience, and then I have about 5 other questions that I'd like to present.
Yes, please.
One person said their comment was, "Those leis were stunning." That's all they said, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
The next question is for Miss Lois. What is the flat-faced flower on the spire?
Spiral hand-tied.
On the spiral hand-tied in your bouquet.
Okay, so the question is, what was the flat-faced flower in the spiral hand-tied bouquet? And I'm not quite sure which flower specifically was being referenced, but there were sunflowers in there, and there were 2 types of anthuriums. I know they're not referring to the pincushions. There were snapdragons and dahlias. And then there was the Chinese hat plant in the kind of bronze color. I'm not too sure if that's not what you're looking at, or the curcuma, maybe you can put it back in the chat if I didn't answer that.
Okay, and another one for Miss Lois. Are the bougainvilleas simply water tubed, or do you also use quick dip?
Okay, so question on that would be how to extend the longevity of bougainvilleas would be really what they're after. You want to pick that in the cool part of the day, and I would usually choose the morning, and it was actually foraged at 5:30 that morning. Now, we don't always have that luxury of doing that, so you could harvest the day before. I would soak it down in a tub of water, and then I would you could clip the ends, quick dip it, then put a plastic over all the blooms in the bucket, and then refrigerate overnight. Actually, if you did that, the blooms would become turgid in the refrigerator and would have actually held up better than a cut at 5:30 in the morning, water tubed, and then in the bouquet. And then, of course, you need to cut very mature blooms and not the young blooms, because no matter what you do with the young blooms, they're going to wilt on you. So mature blooms with the actual flowers showing, the white flowers showing out of the bract is what you're looking for. Okay?
Okay, I see Hannah. Hi, Hannah. Is Matt with us? Is Matt going to be with us today?
There we go. Yes, there's the man. All right.
There's Mr. Matt. Hi, Matt. Okay, I'm going to do this question last. Okay. This question is for you, Hannah. How long do protea usually last? How can I extend the shelf life for my protea after receiving a shipment? Do I keep the leaves on or remove the leaves from mink types, especially as they seem to turn black? Did you get all that?
Yes. Thank you for the question. So protea are a very interesting crop. So they're native to South Africa and Australia. So they come from a very dry habitat. However, if you get a shipment of protea or pincushions, I recommend unpacking them right away, recut the stems, and hydrate the stems in water. But be very careful. You don't want to submerge the actual flowers. You don't want to get them wet. They don't like that. They'll start to grow some funky fungus, especially minks and protea. So just recut the stems, put them in a little water to hydrate, but to avoid getting the flowers wet themselves. Protea are great because they can last a long time. I've seen pins last, especially if you take care of them and hydrate them right away. And you also want to remember to change your water frequently. Similar to roses, you know, there's bacteria that gets in there. So if you keep changing the water in the bucket, they can last between 5 to maybe 14 days. And with minks and protea, especially if you start to see this blackening on the leaves, you might just want to clip those off and they'll last a little bit longer. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. I have another question. I'm a tropical flower farmer, but do you think it makes a difference to either cut the stems, like in water when you receive them, or after you harvest them with clippers? Or is it better to cut them with a sharp knife or a sharp sickle?
Great question. I would say do what's best for you. I personally love my clippers. I go anywhere I go, they're in my car, they're in my purse. I'm a weirdo. But you can do whatever works for you. They can be, Protea are big bushes to shrubs. So they're pretty woody. So you want something, a sickle might be too small. What do you think, Lois?
Yeah, that's a good answer. But I've noticed that, like for the tropical flowers, when I cut them with clippers, it kind of closes up the phloem of the plant because you're kind of squeezing it, compared to cutting them with a sharp knife or a sickle that just slices and leaves the phloem of the plant open for it up to be able to intake the water. So to each his own. If somebody has a nice sharp clippers, I'm sure that would work fine.
Yeah.
Good to know. Thanks for sharing.
I'd like to add on that that
do.
Protea can go into a refrigerator. So don't be afraid to refrigerate your pins or your minks or your kings, and it can go in the cooler at the same temperature with your roses. Unlike with tropicals, you're going to want to have it at a warmer setting.
Yeah, tropicals do not refrigerate.
Right.
Or anthuriums. Orchids, okay, right? We've heard that. We've had comments of that earlier. Okay. Here's the question. Matt, you still with us?
Still here.
Okay. You can stay on. We got another question. Okay, Matt, this question, how to best handle tropicals such as gingers and heliconias after receiving them? What is the expected shelf life of gingers and heliconias? And what makes Maui-grown tropicals last longer than from other places? Did you get all that?
I got all that. I'll start from forward to backward. What makes our product last longer? It's probably that we're closer to the market here versus a third world producer. Okay. And then as far as shelf life, I'd say a week to 10 days. You know, I get on gift boxes directly shipped to the consumer. I get people that's telling me 10 at least a week. And the best thing to do is when you get it, unpack it, cut the stems, submerge it in the bathtub, and avoid direct sunlight. Because like the gingers, they'll reflex towards sunlight, or if you leave a light on, the same type of thing overnight. So you like to keep them overnight. You don't want to have them reflexing towards that light, you know. And pretty much the same way you do with the Protea, as Hannah mentioned, you know, refresh your water at least every other day, and you should have good luck. And the main thing, like I think Hawaii's tropicals are going to be better than anywhere else because of the shortened shipment time to the markets here in the United States versus third world product.
Right. Well, with FedEx, we can get flowers fresh from our farm to our customer's door, even on the East Coast, in 2 business days. Can you beat that?
Yep. You can't.
Fabulous.
No one can beat that.
Yeah, and I found out for my purposes, it's better to harvest as early as you can in the morning. Don't be harvesting when the sun's out hot, right, Matt?
Right. Yep. Yeah. Especially now with the we've been in a little bit of a drought here in Hana for the last couple months.
I'm sure that will help to extend the shelf life. Okay, another question for Hannah. Do you think there is room for more growers to raise flowers on Maui?
Great question. And yes, absolutely. There's a high demand for Protea, pincushion, tropicals, and even temperates, like you saw in the video, the dahlias. So there's lots of demand and there's space available. And honestly, we need more farmers and agriculturists because the more we can produce locally and use locally, the less we'll have to import. Because Hawaii is so isolated, we are a very delicate ecosystem. Anytime we have a new pest, they love it here, they don't want to leave, and they can cause serious issues, right? Like the coconut rhinoceros beetle, all these new pests. So the more we can produce locally, the less we can import, would be, I would say, better for the entire floriculture industry.
Great answer. Great answer. Question for Lois. How much would it cost to make a wreath like the one you made in the farm tour?
There are actually, every location has different prices. So what I would say is that there are 150 stems in that wreath, of which 130 of them were the large flowers, meaning the kings, the minks, the banksias, and the kings, minks, banksias, and then we had all the gingers. So you could take that and times it by your location. Here, the wholesale cost of the flowers would run about $450 based on a wholesale, what you're buying the flowers at, and then your time and what the structure itself would cost.
Okay, another question from our great audience. I'm sure you can answer this, and I can add to it if necessary. Are white gingers very common, and are they used often in bridal bouquets?
Okay, so I would have said last year white Alpinia purus white was less common, and there are only a few growers that actually are raising them. You have one on Kauai. Mm-hmm. And but Olapava is coming out with them now, and his main emphasis is gingers, and he's doing a beautiful job. They are now being seen at Costco, so the availability of them being at Costco tells you there is availability, and that's a beautiful product for wedding bouquets, just as the white torch gingers are.
It is. It is. I've noticed on my farm that I have to grow my white gingers in the shade, and I'm sure Matt will testify to this. They do not like to be grown in the sun. They need shade, otherwise they'll just bleach out on you. Yeah.
They definitely need the shade.
Yeah. Another question. This question is for you, Matt. What is the most popular Heliconia orthotricha, and are people working on breeding new varieties? I think we kind of answered that breeding on new varieties portion, and maybe not, but can you elaborate on that?
The breeding, I'm not sure what's going to happen. Like, we spoke to that question yesterday, but the most popular orthotricha, I would say it's probably the Eden Pink, and then maybe the Garden of Eden, and then I guess maybe around Christmas time, the Imperial. Those three are the top three. And then there are a few other novelty ones that we have here on the farm. Copper Tone, and this new one, Maleko. I like that one.
I'm not sure how easy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's a soft red. I just got it from somewhere. You know, I do a lot of trading.
Oh, that's nothing wrong with that. Barter system is good. So yes. We know that the heliconias, orthotrichas, they do flower, but the flowers dry up very fast, and to be able to pollinate from one orthotricha to another to try and get a new variety, to me seems difficult. I think the best propagation method is by rhizomes being collected in Central and South America. Otherwise, another option may be they do go to seed. So I was thinking, if they go to seed, maybe we could try planting some of the seeds that may mutate into something else.
That'd be good, for sure. You know, but I have no interest in going to Central America.
Okay. I have one more comment to make. The question is, how can we support the Maui relief effort? We can order flowers from Maui, gift boxes for the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas right around the corner, or just because, order for yourself to help Maui or come visit Maui. Maui is open. Okay? So if anyone in our audience would like to make a contribution to the Maui Relief Fund, they can send their donations to SHAC, S-H-A-C-K, S-H-A-C Foundation, 190 Keawe Street, Suite 25, Hilo, Hawaii, 96720, and note on it, HFNA Maui Wildfire Relief Fund. And so this information will be on the website, on the Neotropica website. Our wonderful Judy is going to be placing this on our Neotropica website. And just for your information, the designs that were recently done during our island webinars on Oahu and Hawaii, the designers donated their arrangements to the Maui Relief Fund. So thank you all the designers for doing that from your heart. I'm sure our Maui friends appreciate it.
We really do appreciate it. And we're going to make sure that that goes directly to some of the florists that actually lost their homes and businesses there. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think we're ready to wrap it up? Or Hitomi, do you have any?
Do you have any questions?
No, I mean, I think all the questions were answered. I'm just I'm thrilled to see actually a lot of the younger new farmers coming up. That's what was the most heartfelt excitement that I felt in a long time, to see the passion that's coming out in some of the younger people that's coming in.
Right.
And it just feels like maybe there's some really great future in people taking on this wonderful profession, the farming, and also in our part to be able to design with flowers, that it will be very vibrant in the future with a lot of these young people being so interested. So I really love that part of it very much, to see them and to see their joy.
I think someone made a comment. That's a great comment, Hitomi. I believe it might have been yesterday. They encouraged us older guys to take on some young farmers into your farm as apprentices and as trainees, and to get them into the beauty and the passion of what we do. So it's just a suggestion. So Lois would like to share some closing remarks with us. So Lois.
Thank you. On behalf of Matt, Hannah, and myself, I would like to thank the viewers for watching Maui Now. A big shout out to HFNA, Hawaii Floriculture and Nursery Association, for putting together these educational programs that benefit breeders, growers, designers, and the greater community. I would like to also thank Elizabeth for assisting me and being so gracious to allow us to use her house unexpectedly on our last day of filming. And of course, all our many, many varied requests, she obliged very happily. And many thanks to Hitomi and Colin, who volunteered to come to Maui to help us shoot this segment. It meant a lot for them to come, and we were able to showcase Maui's 11 farms because of their help. So to the farms, we couldn't have done it without all of you, and we are truly grateful for your participation. This was truly a segment of our community on Maui. Please support floriculture and nursery industry across the state. Strength in agriculture supports our entire community and helps each of us thrive. May the beauty of flowers and growing bring you much enjoyment and gratification as it does for us. Aloha from Maui.
Okay. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Matt. So,
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you so much, everyone.
You guys were awesome.